Hi everyone. In this video, we'll explore some cool features of the Cuvette 1900 spectrophotometer. You'll learn how to use spectrum mode, photometric mode, and how to save your data. Before you start, make sure the cell compartments are empty, the main plug is switched on, and the power button on the side of the machine is turned on. Our lab uses two types of cuvettes for blank and sample measurements, a 3 ml plastic cuvette, on the right, for distilled water-based solutions, and a quartz cuvette, on the left, for organic solvents and ultraviolet wavelength measurements. Cuvette lids are also provided to cover the openings before placing them into the spectrophotometer, helping to prevent any spills inside the instrument. The machine will perform a series of checks to ensure it's ready for use. At the top, you'll see a warm-up indicator as it heats the lamps for measurement. This takes approximately 10 minutes. In the meantime, we'll prepare the cuvettes for calibration, auto zero in photometric mode or baseline correction in spectrum mode. In this video, we'll demonstrate how to fill a cuvette with distilled water. Fill it about 3/4 full, make sure there are no air bubbles, and ensure the exterior is clean and dry. You can use a lens wipe to clean the sides before putting it into the machine. You can see at the top of the screen that the machine is now ready to use. This is the main screen, where you can choose the type of measurement you want to do. At the top left of the machine, you'll find the lid for the UV spectrophotometer. Gently lift it open to reveal two cuvette slots. The top one is the reference cell, and the bottom one is the sample cell. The spectrophotometer shines light through the sides of the cuvette to measure absorbance, so make sure the clear sides are facing sideways. Also, check that the cuvette is dry on the outside before placing it in. Once both are in place, gently close the lid. Now we're going to go through the steps for using spectrum mode. This helps you find the best wavelength for your sample solution. It's a great alternative if you don't want to look up values in journals. You can also use the color wheel as a guide to choose a wavelength range. In this video, we'll use a cobalt chloride solution and show how to find the right wavelength without using online references. Cobalt chloride has a reddish-pink color. Using the color wheel, we'll choose a wavelength range that's opposite, or complementary, to that color. One important thing to remember, your samples should be clear and preferably colored for this to work well. For our solution, we'll scan wavelengths from 400 nanometers to 900 nanometers, but pay close attention to any peaks that appear between 430 and 560 nanometers. From the main screen, tap on Spectrum and adjust the settings. First, under Photometric Type, make sure it's set to ABS if you're measuring absorbance. Then go to Tab 3, Scan Settings. Set the record range to 2.0 ABS, that's a good range for most samples, and if you want the scan to go quicker, you can change the scan speed to Fast. Once your settings are ready, prepare two cuvettes filled with your blank solution. For cobalt chloride, the blank is just distilled water. Make sure there are no air bubbles inside and the outside is dry. Place the cuvettes into the reference and sample slots, then close the lid. Now tap baseline correction at the bottom of the screen. This step takes about 5 minutes, so just hang tight. After the baseline correction is done, you'll go back to the spectrum page. Take out the cuvette from the sample cell, pour out the blank, and fill it with your sample solution. Put it back into the machine, then tap Start at the bottom of the screen to begin the spectrum measurement. On the screen, the machine will scan through the wavelength range you selected. In this video, we've sped it up 5 times so you can quickly see what happens. You'll notice a graph starting to appear as the scan runs. When it's done, the machine status will change from running to ready. Now, we're going to find the highest absorbance value using a tool called peak selection. We want to make sure the absorbance doesn't go over 1.0 ABS. On the right side of the screen, tap Operations, then go to the Peak Pick, followed by Peak tab at the top. You'll see a table showing the wavelengths and their matching absorbance values for cobalt chloride. We'll use this info in our next steps under photometric mode. To get there, go back to the main spectrum page, then tap the bottom left icon to return to the home screen. From the main screen, tap on Photometric, then select Photometric again. Now, we'll enter the wavelength value we got earlier from our spectrum scan. If you're using a value from a research journal, you can also type in that number instead. Ensure that K-factor remains 1.0. Next, get two cuvettes filled with your blank, which is distilled water for this experiment. Place them into the reference and sample cell slots, just like we did earlier. Make sure the clear sides of the cuvettes are facing sideways and the outsides are dry. Once they're in and the lid is closed, tap Auto Zero at the bottom of the screen to continue. Once the Auto Zero step is finished, you'll see the machine status change to Ready. Then, take out the blank cuvette from the sample side and replace it with your sample solution to start getting your readings. The absorbance readings will then appear on the screen in a table format. If you have more than one sample to test, just repeat these steps: open the lid, switch out the cuvette with your next sample, close the lid and press start. Each new reading will be added to the list on the screen. Unlike some other models we've used, this UV-Vis spectrophotometer lets you save your table data as a CSV file. Just insert your USB drive into the slot on the right side of the machine. Tap the Save Table icon, make sure the file location is set to your USB, and give your file a name. Tick the CSV box only, then tap Save. Before turning off the machine and unplugging it, double-check that the cuvette compartments are empty and the screen is dry.